Thank you so much, Corinne. I appreciate the kind introduction. I am going to try to share my screen, and I will undoubtedly go quickly because I understand that there is someone that holds us to time. So in any case, we will introduce the Rotary Foundation. It is my pleasure to serve as the District Rotary Foundation Chair and to share with you the power of the foundation as a tool to do good in the world. Last year, and we just have this annual report, so it's hot off the presses. Last year in 2021-22, the foundation spent $330 million around the world to do good. And 89% of these funds went to programs, which is a very high percentage. And as a matter of fact, that has led Charity Navigator, which is an independent evaluator of charities, to rank the foundation a 4-star rating for 14 consecutive years. So you can be assured that if you contribute to the foundation, that your money is going to be managed effectively. So today we'll explore reasons why Rotarians should care about and donate to the foundation. As you may know, the foundation grants support 7 areas of focus or causes, and these causes build international relationships, improve lives, and promote a more peaceful world. I'll let you look at these for a few minutes. I won't read them. There's probably 1 or 2 that really intrigue you, and your club may, or our club, may not work in every area, but there certainly will be a club within the district that does address all 7 of these areas of focus. So there's something to inspire every single one of us. The mission of the Rotary Foundation says that it's positioned to be a tool for us to do good in our clubs and to do good around the world. It's to help Rotary members make a difference. So now let's follow the money. It's important that you know that if you should give money to the Rotary Foundation, what do they do with it? So let's follow the money. So when you donate to the Rotary Foundation, there's really 3 choices that predominantly. The first is the annual fund, Polio Plus, and the endowment fund. And oftentimes annual fund and Polio Plus fund donations are part of a club due structure, but not always. But you can donate independently of whatever dues the clubs may encourage. So which fund should you choose? The annual fund share supports local and global projects because after 3 years, the money comes back to the district to be used both for district grants and global initiatives, such as the Rotary Peace Center and Polio Plus, as well as global grants. And then for the Polio Plus donations, every dollar given to Polio Plus is matched 2 to 1 by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So your money will be tripled effectively. And that is, of course, polio eradication is Rotary's #1 humanitarian effort. It has been our focus since the end of the 80s. And then thirdly is the endowment fund. If you are considering how you are going to leave a legacy financially, it's typically through the donations to endowment funds as bequests. And it gets pretty complicated, but we can discuss that at a separate time individually if you're interested. So this slide is messy, but it describes how in the world the money that you give to annual fund share comes back to us. So I don't know if my cursor is visible, but if you give money to annual fund share, and this is the amount given 3 years ago, after 3 years, it is returned to be used for projects around the world. Half of the money goes to the World Fund, and that's controlled by the foundation trustees. The other half is returned to our district as district designated funds. And then these DDF funds are further divided 50-50 into global support and district grants. And that is that proportion is determined by the regulations of the foundation. So of the district grant portion, this year we have funded 42 different district grants from 31 Rotary clubs, and the project values, when you add together the matching funds, totals about $500,000. So your contributions 3 years ago are now supporting grants of 42 grants throughout our clubs. And here's some examples. I'm not going to read them to you, but you can see that throughout the district, we cover and support a wide variety of initiatives and projects. And I think All Nations is up there under international service. There are 2 grants that have been funded by the district this year for the All Nations Club. So even if your preference is education and literacy, and All Nations doesn't have a grant this year that addresses that, you can see that there are other clubs that are addressing those issues. Okay, moving forward, polio eradication efforts from Rotary actually began in 1979. And as I mentioned earlier, it's our #1 humanitarian effort. Rotary members to date have contributed more than $2 billion to the effort, and it has protected over 3 billion children. It costs about $3 to protect a child against polio for their life. And interestingly enough, one of the ways we fight polio is through surveillance, through sewer systems, and $100 million is spent every year to do that, to help squelch the polio before it becomes a problem in various areas. Polio is endemic, meaning it has never been eradicated, only in 2 countries throughout the world. We started, I actually don't have it in my notes, but I believe it was about 130 or so countries when we started the process. Cases have been reduced since Rotary's efforts began by 99.9%. And I get reports every single week about how we're doing, and we have not had any new cases of wild polio virus throughout the entire world in the last 15 weeks. So we are well on our way to hopefully eliminating this virus worldwide very soon. Now, one of the things that's important to us, we talked about annual fund share. Annual fund share are the donations that come back to the district in 3 years that fund our grants. So having consistent donations to annual fund share are really important to us, because that's what gives us the money to work. So the gold section on this slide indicates the amount of money for annual fund. And then the blue line, the blue section, is the total amount for annual fund. So excuse me, the gold is annual fund share, the portion that comes back to us, and the blue is the total of the annual fund. The annual fund does have some other aspects to it, and one of which is the recently added disaster response fund. So you can see as we tootled along here that the 2 lines were pretty parallel. And you'll notice this lovely peak here. That was the year I was district governor. We had more donations to the foundation that year than any year prior. And then COVID hit, and donations went down, not surprisingly. So, but then last year things came up. And if we look at annual fund as a total, annual fund surpassed any prior year, last Rotary year. But the problem is that the annual fund portion actually did not increase. We're now down to somewhere around 2017-18. And the reason is that Rotarians were very generous in their donations to the disaster response fund to help address the conflict, the war in Ukraine. So while we gave a ton of money to annual fund and in generous response to that conflict, unfortunately, we're not going to get a great deal of the money back because a smaller portion went to annual fund share. So the impact of this drop in donations is that next year we will have about $27,000 less to spend for district grants. So we are committed as a district, and Mark is actually leading the annual fund share subcommittee. We are committed as a district to level out this variability so that we have a lot of money to spend on local projects. And we're going to do this by encouraging every Rotarian to donate through Rotary Direct. So Rotary Direct is just like you may, if you have a 401k or an IRA, you may donate through your payroll as a deduction so that it comes out automatically. And that automatic deduction, or in this case, donation, becomes so automatic that you don't even have to think about it. And it doesn't hurt the pocketbook. You learn to budget your funds while making those contributions. So let me share with what your money could do. If you were to donate just $3 a day, that's $85 a month, you would become a member of the Paul Harris Society and get this cute little pin, this chevron that hangs beneath your Rotary pin or your Paul Harris Fellow pin. So that $85 a month could be divided to $75 a month to annual fund share. And again, that comes back to us. And then $10 a month to Polio Plus. And then that would make you both a member of Paul Harris Society and the Polio Plus Society. These donations would save 100 children a year from polio. And every 4 years, your money would total up to a $2,000 grant. So you would be helping fund our district grants. And then the rest of the funds that come back to the foundation rather than the district, support international programs where the trustees identify the greatest needs. So I hope you will consider $3 a day as a donation to the Rotary Foundation. And you can do that through Rotary Direct. There are 3 ways to enroll. You can enroll most easily online. You can also do it by mail and by calling this phone number. I will be happy to provide anybody who's interested with a form to do it, or I'll send you the email and the phone number again. Here's my email, but you can also reach me through DACDB now. So when you contribute to the foundation, you earn recognition. The one on the left, the round pin, is the Paul Harris Fellow pin, and then below it is the chevron that indicates that you're a member of the Paul Harris Society, making a pledge to donate $1,000 a year. That's $85 a month. Then the Polio Plus Society is your pledge to donate $100 in total for the year to Polio Plus. And on the right-hand side is a bequest pin. This is given to people who contribute to the Rotary Foundation through a bequest in their estate plans. So it's not money that you give now, although we can accept money now, of course, but it is normally through a bequest, through making the foundation a beneficiary of your IRA or your life insurance policy. There's many other ways to do it, but that may be the simplest. So if you're interested in exploring any of these opportunities to earn recognition and make a difference in the world, please let me know. One of the things we've got going right now is that we have a multi-million-dollar journey. This is a District 7710 initiative, and this is where we are trying to collect $5 million for the Rotary Foundation between now and the end of March next year. So about a year and a quarter to go. And we are we've collected $2 million, and we've got about another $1 million in the process. So we're about 2/3 of the way to goal. If you are interested in learning a little bit about how this you may contribute through the endowment fund through a bequest, we have had these Learn at Lunchtime seminars, 3 of which have already happened, and those recordings are on the district website. In January, so the last Tuesday of the month, this month, we are having the last one. It's called Creating the Greatest Impact. And these are conducted by the gentleman here. He's a Rotarian of the Rotary Club of Raleigh. He is an employee of the Rotary Foundation, and he's our Senior Major Gifts Officer. Carl Davis is his name. So this concludes my remarks on the foundation. I will have a moment for questions in a second, but I wanted to share with you something else we're doing. At the district, again, this is not related to the foundation. At the district, we have something called Rotary Youth Leadership Awards. It's known as RYLA. It is intended to be a leadership overnight camping event for high school juniors only. So it's exclusively open to high school juniors throughout the district. There's normally about 120 kids that attend this. Each club may select up to 3 members. And we've got another week or so to add people that may want to go from this club if you're so interested. But we have sponsored thus far my neighbor, Vanessa Milliam. She's on the honor roll, and she's on the varsity basketball team at East Wake Academy, and she participates in several volunteer clubs at school, as well as volunteering at the Wake County Library. Her current career goals are to become a computer programmer. And I asked her to describe why she wanted to attend RYLA, and the remarks on the right was her answer. So I hope, and we're going to invite Vanessa to attend the club meeting in the spring after she's attended RYLA to tell us what she's learned. So with that, I thank you very much for the opportunity to share information about the foundation and RYLA. Take questions if we've got 3 minutes, Mark, 3 minutes.